I'm not kidding. This could be the best Tudor release of 2025. This is the brand new Tudor Black Bay 54 Lagoon Blue. Let's go over the watch. The good, the bad, and the absolute brilliant. The watch is identical to the specifications of the Black Bay 54 that was released in 2023, but now with a few minor updates. It comes in a 37mm stainless steel case with a thickness of 11.24mm, lug to lug of 46, and a lug width of 20mm. Dome sapphire crystal on top, 200 meters of water resistance, and the automatic in-house caliber MT5400 with 70 hours of power reserve. This is the COSC certified caliber, not the Meta certified movement. I have some thoughts on that. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, but let's go over the upgrades. Firstly, we now have this icy blue grainy textured dial that looks so good in the metal. Now, if you've been a follower of this channel, do subscribe by the way if you're not. You'll know that I absolutely love my Black Bay 58 navy blue. This is personally the best blue, at least for me, on a dive watch. And I think that this new light blue dial could be my second favorite blue from Tudor. I definitely like it more than the Pelagos, to be honest. But the blue dial wasn't enough to get me excited. It's combining that brilliant blue dial with a new full steel rotating bezel. This is the first time that Tudor has released a dive watch with a steel rotating bezel in 25 years. So this is not just your standard dial change. Design-wise, this is a big change for the brand. I agree with Harrison from Chisholm Hunter when he says that steel bezels on watches, especially on dive watches, are a dying breed. I know steel bezels have their flaws. I know it can get scratched up unlike ceramic, but there is something about them that just make me love them for some reason. I really don't know what it is. And this is not a new watch talk. This is just something that I genuinely feel. Maybe it's because we don't see them that often. One of my favorite watches from Oris is the Aquas Date with the tungsten bezel. And my Speedmaster 351150 has a steel bezel that I love. Now, because of Tudor's growing popularity, I don't think this watch will go under the radar. This isn't a if you know kind of watch, at least among watch people. But it still offers that strange balance between good hype in the sense that it's exciting, it's not boring, it's something that everybody wants to see, but it's still reasonably easy to get. And that's something that I like about Tudor. Now, according to my local AD, there is a little bit of a waitlist for this watch, but generally with Tudor, waitlists are in that initial stage, but then watches do tend to become a bit more easier after a while. Now, I don't know why they call it Lagoon Blue. To me, this gives off more of a frozen lake vibe than a lagoon, especially with that sand-like texture on the dial. Unlike the more standard Black Bay divers that are built as capable tool watches, premium capable tool watches I should add, this feels more design forward. The vintage dive watch style has been overdone to death. We've got an ocean of those to choose from. But there are many options that bring the more youthful, fun energy combined with vintage styling. I think this is a good place for Tudor to do this because we can see a clash of three different trends happening here, especially within the watch enthusiast community. You have a compact size, you have a fun dial, and you have a steel bezel. These are things that are not just trending, but also extremely sought after in the watch community. And this kind of brings them all together. Also, we have to talk about the influence that Tudor has on microbrands. I'm not sure if this is going to be a one-off thing or Tudor is going to continue this steel bezel trend. I'm sure we're going to see more of those with microbrands. So even if this is above your price point, it's still a good thing. It's going to encourage newer brands, microbrands, to start experimenting with this kind of dive watch style that's been missing for a long time. Now, I did compare this with the standard version, and these two look very different, and that's a good thing. I've already seen a few collectors that own the standard 54, but they still got this watch. While the standard Black Bay 54 clearly pays homage to a vintage Submariner, this blue version is kind of a thing of its own. On the wrist, the standard 54 looks like a tool watch, a classic diver that we've seen a million times. But the new version with that 5-link bracelet, it's familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. It looks different from anything else Tudor has released. And I think that's one of the reasons why the reception has been so positive on this. Come to think of it, Tudor is actually really good at creating original designs that kind of define their own space. You know, like if you look at the Pelagos, it doesn't really remind you of any other dive watch. Same thing with the Black Bay Chronos. Yes, we can see that it's vintage inspired, but we don't think of any specific watch or brand that it reminds us of, apart from Rolex, but they get a pass for that. When the 54 came out, I tried it on, and to me, I felt like it was a bit too small, but this doesn't look small. This looks larger than the 54, and it could be because of the steel bezel, because there's so much reflective surface on the watch, so white tends to look bigger than the black. So it could be a kind of that optical illusion, but I think this format works for this watch. Now, with every watch, there are some areas of danger, areas where potential negatives can form. And with this watch, I feel like there are two such areas. One is that while I love the idea of a steel bezel, having a polished steel bezel is going to be a fingerprint magnet and also a bit too blingy for my taste. What I'm hoping for is that Tudor will eventually bring these steel bezels out on the larger 58s or the 41s, but with brushed steel bezels. I think those will be awesome. The second danger area is that this is still using the same caliber that we saw in the previous generation of the 54. I know that it's not too old, but with lots of Tudor fans differentiating between the older and the new generation of watches by using the COSC versus Meta certified movements as kind of a benchmark, there are bound to be some disappointments. There is no logic when it comes to, you know, what watch you like. We can look at the specs all we want, but when it comes to buying a watch and wearing a watch, you don't wear specs. You wear a design that you actually like. So this is something that, you know, you kind of have to figure out. If you like this color and this format and this size, then it's perfect. When it comes to Tudor, Meta's movements aren't different. They're the same movements that are used in the standard Black Bay 58s and 54s. The only difference is that some of them are tested to higher standards. Whether it's COSC or Metas, it shouldn't really matter. They're solid movements. Now, I have a question for you guys. If you already own a Tudor or you were thinking of getting a Tudor, has this release made you reconsider which Tudor you're gonna get? Honestly, we see so many Tudor dial variations, especially nowadays, that there's hardly anything to talk about. This was fun. Just getting hands on with the watch, I was just surprised by how different it looked compared to other Tudors. Definitely check it out at your local stores just to kind of see what you think about it, because we won't really know how we feel until we see it in the metal. That's it. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.